myself among the lucky ones. So it's nice to be here, and for sure to equally meet our viewers out there following the very, very interesting topic that we'll be talking about today. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I want to apologize for starting a little bit late. We really apologize for that. I will promise that by next week it will not happen again. On my left hand is Madame Epole Anisel. How have you been?
I've been holding up.
Always holding up.
Well, I was a little bit under the weather during the weekend. At least I thank God I'm present today.
Okay. We hope that the under the weather will go above the weather.
I hope so too.
All right. Pastor, due to traffic, you could not be with us last week, and we are very happy to have you today. Don't bother, when I become the mayor, we'll form more roads in Boya. How have you been?
We'll vote for you. I'm fine, thank you. It's been okay. It's been okay. Sorry for not being there last week. Other duties and traffic just spoiled it. So I'm here now. Thank
we are
God.
happy
Let's
to
see
have
how
you.
today will go.
And we missed you last week.
I wish I was there last week.
No, you are here today and you did it. And of course, the face you saw last week that will be on this program, Madame Christelle Ndu. Okay. Madame Christelle Ndete is the other lady who will be adding her voice to that of Pastor and Anisel in the course of this program. How have you been?
I bless God, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
It's His glory and His grace that has kept me. Aside the weekend trouble with weddings and birthdays, and of course, fuel each. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm alive today.
And we are already in the month of November, December, that you have more of those
Soon is Christmas
coming up. It'll be crazy. I'm just thinking with the traffic in Boya when things are normal, and then with all the weddings and pom, I don't know how we'll pass. Maybe we'll buy a helicopter. But it's a good thing having all of you here, and we have a very important topic that I want to talk about today. Maybe it's an issue to you, maybe it's not an issue, but we discuss all that on this table on Divine Mercy Television. I want to talk about the Cameroon educational system. Many persons have either been blaming the educational system or praising the educational system. So we want you to bring all those points and put on the table, because we want to look at it both ways. So we want to try to look at it today. If you find the Cameroon educational system very okay with you, or there is need or room for improvement, that's what we want to talk about today. Now, the genesis of it all, we know many people will say when the Europeans came, they brought in a system of education that did not really fit into our own way. They train us to know, but not to act and all that. Please bring your points here on table. Those with me here in the studio, they will be giving either for or against. I wonder if somebody will give for, but anyways, in the course of the program, we will get to understand. And those of you out there, you equally have same opportunity to share with us. I will begin with you, Mr. Ebong Fidel. You are, should I say, PhD candidate, that's how they call it, and you've done your master's fully well and your secondary school, everything. Are you very, very okay and comfortable with the education you have in this country? I want to put it to you, because before you want to blame something, let's look at where you are and if you are okay with it. Do you find the educational system in Cameroon faulty? Is there room for adjustment, or where you are and what you are doing is perfectly okay with you?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. Of course, looking at the age that Cameroon is now, we are still growing as compared to other countries. Let's just say we are still growing, because that's what the officials in place will always tell us, that we are a young country, and as such we should not over compare ourselves with other developed countries or other more developed countries. But at the same time, they have forgotten to know at the same time too that there are countries too that are not up to the age of which we are, but they have really very, very advanced. And the stuff is, we are still dependent. We are not an independent country when it comes to the educational perspective. And I say we are not, we are dependent based on the fact that we are not thinking on of course metamorphosizing our educational system so that it suits our context. We are still basing our attention to what our colonial masters earlier came and left for us. And the system of our colonial masters, of course, was tilted towards theory. Theory, it's 80% theory, as I can say, with just a little bit of practical mixed in it. And that's why you see us still studying things that really do not have any use in our day-to-day lives or in our day-to-day activities. And there is this one small video that I used to watch. I like watching it all the time, from somebody from Gambia who said that the colonial masters came there to put in a type of educational system that does not promote thinking but promotes remembering. You memorizing all the times. It means that you will study things that don't make you to think. You study things that you just need to. That's why groundwork is even very possible. Now, in those days, we were studying photosynthesis, we were studying osmosis, we were studying diffusion. We were studying, you draw a grasshopper and you name the parts. You draw a tree and you name the parts. Now, drawing a tree and naming the parts is not the problem. The actual question is, what is the importance of the tree that you are drawing? So you see that our colonial masters came, put that theoretical part there, but refuse to tell us the real gains behind it. They draw a tree, they tell you the parts of a tree, but they don't tell you the importance of the tree or how you can use a tree to do a whole lot of things. And that's why today I studied osmosis. And as at date, I have never osmosized in any place. So I don't know how it goes about it. So when you look at now, their own educational system, it is far completely different from what we have here. They are putting in a practical approach to it, whereas we are still based on theory. But they had a reason why they were doing all of those. And the earlier, so many people understand about that, the better. And how did they do it? They first came, did educational system that will of course let us to memorize, let us to recall the things. We memorize a whole lot, and after they succeeded in that, then they came now with industries. It means that you who did a theoretical education, you have graduated as somebody with a whole lot of theory in his mind. You don't know about the practical part of it. They come and set up industries that now need practical people. The practical people are not there, but they know that the people that did this theory can memorize at what time to do what and at what time to do what. So they focus now on the practical part. You are focusing now on the theoretical part, and they bribe us with small salaries that we are earning presently. Of course, and you're comfortable and you make noise that you work in a company and things like that. So at the end of the day, we are working and giving them back the money. And my day, when I went through the educational rankings of different countries in Africa, before I even come to universities, the very first country in Africa that is top and that is ranked the 43rd in the whole world is Seychelles. And you can see Seychelles is not up to 1 million people. But Seychelles, education is free up to about the age of 16 or 18. It means that it is compulsory for everybody to go to school. It's not the same approach that we have here. The government may say that education is free, at the same time they allow PTA to come and deal with us.
Is it about being free, or it's about the syllabus, the content?
When we talk about the content, there are actually a whole lot of reasons that makes education, in fact, our educational system to be really backward.
Yeah, because when they're doing writing, I'm sure they go based on the syllabus, the content, the output.
The content, in fact, everything that has to do with, let's say, the course or the subject, how applicable, how does it promote critical thinking and things like that. And that's why you have some of these countries that are ranked first, like Seychelles. Tunisia is taken. And it will be it will be nice for you to understand. Cameroon doesn't even feature among the first 12. Cameroon isn't among the first 12. And the English countries that feature there, you have Kenya is around number 7 or number 8. Ghana
is in Africa.
In Africa, I'm talking about Africa.
Which means the number 7 in Africa will occupy like the 200 and something in the world.
Around, if Seychelles is 43rd, Tunisia is 71st. So you can begin to you see how the other countries are coming behind.
I'll come back to you. Thank you very much. Now, Pastor, let me come to you. Mr. Ebong is trying to put the play, because I was discussing this topic this morning with somebody, and the person asked me where is the university in Buea ranked, and I said I've tried that. All I know is that when I go through ranking, it's a problem. And he said, all right, when you graduate from universities in Cameroon and they want to go abroad, comparatively, how will they look at the documents? But I still believe that if I graduate from the university in Buea and I apply to a US university, they will consider my first degree. So is there a problem?
Now, there is a problem anyway, taking the educational system in Cameroon in general, as Mr. Ebong started to say, it's not really, we are still developing. Let me say so. Okay. So now, in our development, of course, we're making some little errors, some little adjustments, and I will always call to the people who are being educated instead than the system. Because looking into the system, why is it that some people are able to make it and some are not making it? Taking the University of Buea, for example, I have tried to orientate students going to universities, and then I look around, I will always encourage, if you can speak English, if you can sort yourself out in English, go to the University of Buea. You have many other opportunities after that. Now, I studied in the University of Buea, and my certificate was never rejected anywhere. Yes. I had opportunities to study abroad with my certificate from UB, yes. But now there are people who will leave University of Buea without a certificate they can be proud of. It is the same system. So we spend our time blaming others. If we start fixing ourselves, we could fix the system. There are issues in the system I don't refuse. Okay, look at, for example, if you finish writing, you finish in UB, for example, and you want to take a master's degree, you might just spend more than the years they put in the document. I suppose, yes, you have some administrative bottlenecks, you have issues with lecturers, some type of politics that is not supposed, you see.
The 2001 batch up to now, they have not defended.
So you see some things, some departments, those type of things are there. Keeping those things aside, what about those of us who are supposed to build that system? Because if the generation of those who have failed this system now are passed away, if they give us opportunity, if we continue just saying the system is not, yes, it's not. If you look at it, look at orientation is zero.
Yeah.
People will leave secondary school, they don't know what to do in the university. If we could work on that, it will help. If we could just pick one or two children in the street, like big people, you know, you have gone through this and you have seen, you meet some other person who wants to go to try to put the person on track. Like I will tell them, okay, this is University of Buea in front of you. You will have many opportunities. Make sure you stand out. Make sure you have excellent results. Yes. If you have excellent results in University of Buea, there's nothing that can limit you. For example, the department I was in, we do 4 years. Most universities abroad, they take 4 years. 4 years is years. When you have 4 years here, you don't have issues, yes, applying. Most of them use GPA, not average, like what the Francophone universities in Cameroon do. So if you have a good GPA from 3, you are fine. If you have a good GPA from 3, you will not struggle. Notwithstanding, you will not have time, proper time, maybe, okay, you cannot work and school. In university, that's backward. Especially master students. The lecturers, they will not give you opportunity to work and school. It's like you are cheating them. But at the level of masters, you should be somebody be capable of taking care of yourself and maybe a junior one in primary school. Considering our family status, our economic status and all of that, when family have already struggled until you pass first degree, they know that they're looking up to you. So if you're going to be doing masters and then you are there seated again looking for everything from parents because the system will not permit you to work, it's difficult. Yeah, so after all of those struggles, anybody who is capable, who is willing, can forge themselves through. So we start with ourselves.
So you don't believe that is more of theory than practical?
There is so much theory, but now, that's one of the things I like with the educational system. Not the basic theory, but the generalities. Because I don't like to be put in a box. I like to be allowed in a vast space to be able to navigate and choose something out of it. Yeah, so that's what I enjoy. Like, okay, trying to come to the university, I don't want to come and do journalism. I don't want to come and do math. Just journalism. What about that? So I went in for women and gender studies plus a second, you understand? So to give me a variety. Yes, it gives me an open field. And if you see this field, you see that there are little areas under which you specialize more than just math, just accounting, just physics. Yes. So that I, as a person, didn't have a problem with that. But now also, our system is not just theory. You have technical education. Apart from the general education, there is technical education. So under technical education, the educational system, we have practicals. People live there, they can build. People live there. A carpenter lives there. I have a young man, yes, with advanced level from this GTC Moliko. He does well in woodwork. He's one of the people around. I can give my thing to him to fix without any worry. Yes. So I think to some extent we can help ourselves.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Christian. Let me come to you. I understand, Pastor, I understand your angle and I appreciate it so very much. Now, let me come to you. Talking about, let's start with the university. You know, we have in the Diocese of Oboya, have an entrepreneurial university, CUIB, the Catholic University of the Diocese of Oboya. And it's lately that most, institutions started seeing the importance of technical or entrepreneurial education. Because at first it was just general. At first, if you don't go to UB, you are counted as somebody who is lost. And while growing up, those who had list B, not list A, were considered as dull, and they will send them to technical schools, and those who have list A will enjoy the comfort to go to general education. But now, those who went to these B schools, if I can call it that way, majority of them are succeeding. So it's high time, don't you think it's high time they lean more on technical and reduce general, because now general is still 80%, technical it should be like maybe 10%.
So where is it? The other 10%? If general is 80,
it's still jumping.
Nonetheless, Princey, I don't know I can't give a full picture about the educational system like under the colonial masters. Because probably I just emerged and I'm seeing things, but from my era, I think there's a problem with the educational system.
You deal with schools.
I don't want to go first to the university. I always like to start from the base, to the roots. Back then, when I was in class 6, I happened to be the first batch of pupils who graduated in class 6. Like, we didn't go to class 7. We had this thing they called mental drill. In the morning, you have 30 mathematics questions to solve without using your counting sticks. I didn't even know what a calculator was. Like, I didn't know about that. And you had to do 30. And if you have 25, you are being trashed for not having 30 on 30. But it will shock you to know that now in class 6, students or pupils have calculators. Where is the use of our brains? So when we go back to those little things that gave us a good foundation, we'll see that it will bolster our entrepreneurial form of education. Back then, my mom used to tell me they did this needlework